his or her house. This is our house.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tyrone Lowe. This is my show, The Legends. And before I start the show, I just want to thank you guys for showing me all the love, the subscriptions, and tuning in and giving me all that positive feedback. My show is based on a group, and they've been around for a while. And I'm going to give you guys the Detroit Emeralds. What's going on, fellas?
Hello
Hey,
there. How
Hey,
you
everything
hello
is
doing,
there,
brother
good,
brother.
guys.
Tyrone? All
Enjoying it.
right.
It's a pleasure to be here on your show. Did
Yes,
someone
it
Okay.
is.
remember the little bald head guy?
Okay.
And
So,
that bald head guy is me, the little old bald head guy. Yeah.
all right, so James, you're one of the original members of the group. So let's start it off by
Yes.
telling the viewers how you guys actually got erected.
Oh, yeah. Well, we began in Detroit, Michigan, and we were all raised there with three guys: myself, James Mitchell Jr., Abram Tillman Jr., and Ivy Tillman.
Okay.
And we were blessed enough to be on the Rick Tick label in the beginning
Mm-hmm.
with Mr. Ed Wingate, with the stars like Edwin Starr, Fantastic Four, different group there. And we had a great time there. Matter of fact, the Sweet James of the Fantastic Four was already, and they were doing good with Rick Tick. And he brought
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Wingate out to see the group at one of the
Okay.
local clubs in Detroit. And when he came and saw the group, he sit in and set the whole band, the bar up for a whole night. He liked the
Right.
group, and he had us to come over to his house or his studio or whatever, and everything came to light from that. The
Okay.
beginning of the Detroit Emeralds was with
Okay.
Rick Tick Records with Mr.
Okay.
Wingate. Our
Dwayne,
first
give us some
record
background
was,
about
go ahead.
you.
Oh, myself? Hey, young
Yeah,
man that
Dwayne.
Wow.
Let's talk about you, Dwayne. Just
A little bit of
tell
background
everybody
about me.
about you.
Yeah. Um, I've been a musician ever since I was 9 years old,
Okay.
uh, playing drums, obviously. And actually, at the tender age of around 20, I met James Mitchell. And as a musician, I played drums for them. We did a couple of dates. One was in Washington at the Mark IV, and I can't remember where the other one was.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, I moved on. Worked with Junie, former lead singer of the Ohio Players. I've also worked with uh, David Ruffin. I did a couple shows with him. Worked with one date with the Four Tops up in New York, and then I guess they took a hiatus, and they didn't come back out for a while. But then when they did came out, they had a whole different rhythm section and everything.
Okay.
And hey, I also worked with the group chairman of the board and the Dramatics, Al, you name it. I can just keep going on and on about a lot of great artists that I've worked with since becoming a musician.
Okay. I talked to Dwayne on the phone, and we hit it off like we knew each other for like 25 years, and I really
that's
enjoyed the
crazy.
conversations with you. Eddie, I've shed some
Yes.
light on you, and let's tell the viewers about, what's going on with you and where you came from.
Well, actually, I'm originally from Saginaw, Michigan,
Okay.
and yeah, actually I've been singing now ever since the age of 5 years old. I started singing in the choir, um, and pretty much I started doing shows at the age of 15. I was already doing clubs at the
Mm-hmm.
age of 15 behind live bands. And pretty much, I had my local band here, and we pretty much did a lot of opening acts for major artists such as your After Seven and your Charlie Wilson and Anthony Hamilton. So I had a very, very wide spectrum of far as entertaining and being with a lot of fantastic artists. And so now piggybacking off of what I just said there, I had an opportunity to get to know the dramatics, and Mr. Lomax actually he realized the type of voice that I had,
Hmm.
and there's one of the other members, Mr. Lavelle Jackson. He's also with the dramatics, and
Right.
so they actually were talking about doing something, and I got the phone call, and I ended up. It's definitely a pleasure and honor to be with. Getting to know Mr. James Mitchell, and I was asked, would I like to become a member of the Detroit Emeralds?
Right.
And so that's how pretty much everything kind of formulated and came together for me.
Okay. So how's the relationship with the group as far as you guys getting along and trying to get things in sequence, and stuff like that. How's the chemistry? Okay, Mr. James, could you answer that question, please?
Well, I'll answer that. I don't think he's paying
Well, let
attention.
me say
I'll
this.
answer that
Hey,
question.
hey.
I have to knock him upside the head with my billy club stick every now and then. No, just joking. Working with them guys is such a blessing to work with some guys who truly understand being an artist and being the art of being an artist and learning how to understand what it is to be as a musician or a performer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and them guys came in and they knew what they were doing, and I had to follow suit with them after coming off the drums.
Right.
I tell everybody all the time I had 16 left legs and one right. And
Yeah.
Mr. Mitchell been trying to make the 16 right. And he's been beating me upside my head to
Okay.
do things. But back to what I was saying, working with them guys is such a blessing because it's easy to work with guys who's willing to listen to one another and not
Right.
say, "Well, I know everything. This is the way it goes," and that kind of thing. We kind of all listen to one another, and it's a great situation to be
Okay. James, let's talk about some of the places
Yes.
that you guys actually did live performance, and you know, tell the viewers about that.
Really, it really starts in Detroit, doing the different clubs that are around there. In the beginning, at when we first started to sing, uh, the uh, the African American acts weren't able to sing in Detroit in the major venues,
Okay.
and at that time we used to sing at the theaters in the neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, what happened was, if you would win a talent show, and they would have like back in the day, the hottest group here was Nolan Strong and the Diablos,
Mm-hmm.
which was who Barry was trying to get in the beginning and couldn't get, and then Smokey and no, and Smokey looked a little like Nolan. Nolan had been to the Apollo and tore him up, had a
Right.
great thing and all, and so Nolan and later on came into as I sung with the Emeralds, things got to
Mm-hmm.
popping, right? So myself and Abe of the Detroit Emeralds, we said that what we would do is we'd open a nightclub, and anytime a
Right.
band member would run in trouble and couldn't get back home or anything else, that club would be there. So voila, that club was called the Emerald Lounge, and my all of the different artists, young artists around the city, as well as the major artists that we work with, from the Spinners to all of them, they'd come in and support the bar, or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
all things went great from them and my younger brother and them, the Floaters, which we wrote and produced the album for them. Chapter
Okay.
8, uh, um, where you could see um, what, well, a lot of the acts, all of them would come through there, young or old. And we were blessed enough to get to them and have things happen just like with Mr. Lomax. We had a chance to have him to come play with the group. And he did just such a wonderful job. So when he started starting his group, its own group, we'd look and
Right.
say, would you play behind us or would you play with us?
Right.
He went on the road, and that happened with Michael Henderson also, which we took into Apollo. I think the first time we went into Apollo,
Mm-hmm.
Michael was with us, and he was only about 16 or 17 years old, and it
Okay.
led from doing all the theaters from the Apollo to the Howard
Right.
in Washington to the Uptown in Philadelphia to doing all those, and we
Okay.
were lucky, blessed enough to things started happening, and we were able to work with Sammy Davis. We were able to work with Bob Hope. We were able to work with Burt Reynolds with a lot of major acts. And
Yeah, that's some good
those
legends,
three
man.
guys from Detroit, those things happened. And the biggest one that really just pushed us over all of it was James Brown.
Okay.
Uh, he seen us at um, I guess he liked what he's seen and how the music and stuff that we were doing. So
Hmm.
he put us to open up his shows, and
That's
he
great.
taught us some very important lessons
So
of
what we're gonna
how
do right
to
now,
be an
what we're gonna
entertainer.
do right now is we're gonna listen to one of you guys' tracks, and
Okay.
viewers listen, support these brothers, and you know, let's shed some light on them right
Yeah.
now.
Hey.
We'll be right back.
Oh
It's
yeah.
not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.
We got some fun people in the house tonight.
This is our house.
Let's talk. No. We need to talk right now. It's over with. Every once in a while, or when you get home. No, that's okay. I'm out of here. Huh.
Empty days and dark night. There's no light without you. All I see, mirage to me, unreal, so unreal. I'm ready to speak and share thoughts with you. I'm ready. Let me talk to you. I'm ready. Please, can I talk? I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. Oh, I'm ready. I wanna talk to you.
I made mistakes along the way. I can't live without you. No, these words I speak is coming from my heart. Oh, baby, dang, I'm ready. I'm ready
to speak.
Oh,
I'm
baby.
ready to share. I'm ready to talk.
Are you
I'm
ready?
ready to care.
Yeah.
Are you ready to hear?
Ready?
What's on your mind? Are you ready for me? 'Cause I'm ready for you. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready. Now I wanna talk to you. I'm ready. Ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. It's been so long since we had a talk like this.
It's not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.
Turn around. You ain't really down.
Really now.
Playing the games you do. Someday, everything will be alright. Know that different people make the world go round.
And it's all because of you, my dreams are coming true.
You're not sad.
is my rainy day.
Right now. I don't care who's watching.
For whatever the reason there might be.
With your love by my side, the world will be mine. You're the one for me.
Yeah. Nobody, 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 nobody.
Hey, my name is Tyrone Lowe. This is my show, The Legends. And in the House of the Legends, we have the Detroit Emeralds in the house. Hey, guys.
Hey, my
Hey,
brother.
hey,
Yes,
hey,
sir.
hey.
So let me ask you
How
guys
you
a
doing?
question. Who wrote and produced I'm Ready?
It was written and produced by Dwayne Lomax, myself,
Okay.
and Mr. Lavelle Jackson. The other
Okay.
members we had see right now, but we had the blessing of being able to let the world know that the love is still here.
Okay.
You know, a lot of things being sung, but the real love. I can't see you all the time, and I want
Okay.
to talk, and I'll say just a moment, right? And both sides do that. And so this just lets us know that I'm ready to talk now, and I pray
Was
this
it
is not
was
too
it
late to talk.
was it based on a personal experience with one of you guys? Come on now, somebody tell me.
Sure, hey, it was me. Hey, I was one of them. And I'm quite sure that everybody goes through the same thing. Oh yeah,
Oh, most
I'll be
definitely.
back. You know, wait till I'll call you right back. Mhm.
Well, if I can just jump in on that, just
Go ahead,
from
Doc.
past experience, you kind of can relate that, in your everyday living, when it comes to relationships.
Hmm.
So that's how I basically was able to kind of like pretty much fell into what I was singing and how I was singing and the mood that I was feeling while I was singing the
Right.
song.
Hmm.
Yes.
It's interesting. You guys all have very powerful backgrounds. And as a group in a whole, who would you say would be your idol group?
Well, Locke, you want to go
Hmm.
ahead and
I'm
Let
sure
me
somebody.
think on that one.
Okay.
No,
Hey,
I take
hey, it
Because
that
was
back.
pretty.
I take
Hey,
that back. I already know.
I mean,
yeah.
everybody has an idol, as a whole, as a group,
yeah.
and
Yeah, yeah.
they also have a
Yeah.
group that symbolizes them to the point where they give them that force of energy. So, go ahead, Mr. Lomax.
I would say Earth and Fire would be that for me.
Okay. And you, Eddie?
I have several. There's the OJs, the Temptations, the Dramatics. Um, I can go on and on. The Charlie Wilson Gap Band. Um, yeah,
Okay.
those will be mines. Yeah.
So, James, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Since you're one of the original members of the group,
Hmm.
from then to now, has the sound changed as far as the vocal parts of the group? And has the
Well,
music changed?
well, the music has changed, but the
Okay.
music is the same if it's dealing with love. It's all according to who's doing it. Everything from that I listen to now, whether it's rap or
Right.
whether it's gospel or whatever, music is music, and it's just how it reaches you. It hasn't, each like they had the jitterbug and all the different stuff before we all came in, and
Right.
there wasn't any horns and strings, basically, except for what I know we came in and started using the horns and strings, and they did the same thing strong with Tom Bell with the Delphonics and all, and the Philadelphia sound. So it
Right.
changes with each particular generation that comes in, but it's
Hmm.
good in all of it. It's just all according to what do you mean when you're saying it.
Right.
That the message that's there. There has to be a message that relates to what everybody's doing, and they do have messages. Everything like in our day, the rap they had. I'm trying to think of. Well, rap was big then, but it
Right.
was a total different thing with rap
Right.
on it. It was about the brotherhood and standing for what's
Okay.
happening and going with it. And it was not
Hey,
about the cars and the bling. And it was to get things started that meant something to us. But
Okay.
it's wonderful. Everybody has what they like, and hey, I'm so glad that they listen to music because
Right.
without it, we're gone.
Yeah,
We
most
need
definitely.
music in all kind, and there's always someone that brings it out. And Stevie did that so well. He did it. He said, "It's because I don't have sight, don't mean I don't have vision." And
Right.
so I see the vision in everybody's music. I love it all. But when you're talking about groups, Clyde McFadden and the Drifters were
Hmm.
the one that really set it up for me at coming out at that time.
Okay.
Clyde McFadden, who's a fantastic gentleman that I maybe they don't know a lot about now, but
Hmm.
it helped to put a lot of things in, crossover and everything with the different acts and music to come in. Also with the Manhattans, with Blue and Smitty, all of us worked together back in that day,
Right.
and those guys that were before us were dynamic, dynamic.
I believe that
That's I
back in
don't
those
let me
days, yeah, I believe that's back in those days, it was a different culture, the way that everybody actually,
sure you're right.
comprehended. The vibes were different. So my question to one of you guys that, anyone could jump in. Who's more business orientated as far as the business itself of the group?
Well, business wise,
Hmm.
um, usually it comes through Mitch Lowe Productions, which is deals with as far as handling the business part of it,
Right.
deals with Mitch Lowe, and being a part of Mitch Lowe makes it wonderful, along
Hmm.
with Mr. Lomax. And but with us, we believe that everybody is somebody. But
Right.
business wise, usually we would handle that because without the voice
Hmm.
and without the
Okay. Eddie, let me ask you a
Yes,
question.
sure.
Um, they got a lot of upcoming group. Wait, first of all, before I even say something, I'm representing the Philadelphia sound. Okay, so it's funny that you guys brought that up. Because I'm just in love with that sound. It's nothing like it to me. But Eddie, let me
Thank
ask
you.
you a question. There's a lot of new artists coming out. Whatever genre they are. And
Yes.
through your experiences as an artist, do you have anything that you can actually tell them to really inspire them to climb that corporate ladder in this thing called music?
Well, yes. I'll never forget when I had the pleasure of talking with Miss Patti LaBelle,
Okay.
and I shared the song with her on the stage, and she told me when behind after the show was over, after the concert was over with,
Right.
and she simply just encouraged me. She says, "You know what, Eddie?" She says, "You have a very, very beautiful voice." She said, "And whatever you do, don't stop singing. Just keep singing. You never know who's going to hear you, who's going to see you." She said, "It's okay." She said, "Because dreams are reality."
Right.
And so I've always hung on to that.
Okay.
That's my driving force. That's my motivator. And at the end of the day, it's all about putting smiles on people's face. And
Right.
that's one of the reasons why I love to entertain. That's my passion. That's my therapy.
Okay.
When I know that when you have patrons to patronize what you do, what you love to do, then and they come out to support you. That's the whole thing in a nutshell for me. And I would
Right.
like to inspire that for all up and coming entertainers, new artists as well. Just continue to stay at your craft and continue to work at it.
Okay. Well, you know what? It's been a pleasure having you guys on my show, and we're going to ask you to come back again at a later date, maybe next year,
Sure.
for an upgrade. And I thank you guys, Mr. Lomax, Mr. Mitchell, Eddie. I thank you
Yes.
very much. You
You're
guys
very
have a
much
happy
welcome, brother.
holiday. And this has been another Tilo video production. And stay tuned for another episode. I see you.
For the love of house,
The dynamic
for the
soul
love of beats,
sound of
for the love of
DJ
dance.
Tyrone Lowe. DJ Tyrone Lowe. dynamic soul sounds of DJ Tyrone Lowe.
It's not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.